So a massive, massive project that has been in the making for several years, but only really intensely gone after, and you were leading the charge on it. And the project was to publish 36?
38, it's going to be 38.
38 books within that time period. And these books are gatherings of the lectures that Dr. Marc Gafni has given on One Mountain Many Paths episodes. And they're cut and edited a little bit so that you're getting really just the insane Dharma drop-ins that you get at One Mountain Many Paths. So it's like the highlights of all of those episodes and all of the in-between stuff, so you can feel how beautiful it is to be live with Dr. Marc Gafni. And they're all in these books.
Yes.
So I'm Eli, and I know none of you know me, and I'll tell a bit about my story later, but that will come after. First, we have a lot of really thrilling stuff to talk about. So let's set an intention first. I would like everyone to rub your hands together a few times in front of you, warm up the chakras in the middle of your palms, and press them together in front of your hearts. Close your eyes, one deep breath down into the deepest, deepest point of your belly. And out. And in again. Down to the deepest, deepest point and out. Now this time I want you to breathe, and when you feel it hit the heart, feel it ignite the energy inside of your heart as you breathe past your heart. And now I just like you to take 3 seconds to say thank you to a human that is in your life that has helped you within the last few days or weeks, and just say thank you to them, express some gratitude towards a specific situation with them, and then we'll start in just a moment. Beautiful. Welcome in. We are at the board retreat for the Center for World Philosophy and Religion. This is a very exciting time to be a part of this place. So I'm glad that everyone who's here is here, because you're at the cutting edge of some stuff that will absolutely blow minds and hearts over the coming years and years and years and years. And if you realize the opportunity you have right now to be a part of this, then tune in and stay with us and start working with us, because what's coming is amazing. So there's really one thing that we always need to do before we also get into a talk, which is say thank you to, as we just did in that practice, but say thank you to our teachers especially. So I have 2 quick lessons that I learned that I feel like I need to thank the people who started this whole organization so that we can really, just honor them. But the first is what that breathing exercise brought in me was that came from a practice that KK did yesterday, Dr. Christina Kincaid. And Dr. Christina Kincaid always talks about the movement from Homo Amor to Homo Amor. And it's about the body armor that we have blocking our bioenergetic system, which is our life force. So we need to figure out how to open that up. And Dr. Christina Kincaid is doing stuff that has just helped me so much, helped so many people here so much to actually download the Dharma into our body, because it's an embodied experience. It's not the Dharma until you know it from the inside. And so that's de-armoring. I'll actually talk about Dr. Marc Gafni a little later, but of course he is going to be praised as well. But right now we have a praise for another wonderful human, which is our co-chair, Kathy Brownbeck. She has an amazing, amazing history that I have only a few details of inside of me. I know that you're going to be you had the opportunity to be an executive director of a really well-known and established educational facility, and that in that time in your life, you were also finding the Dharma or learning more about this, and you made a choice consciously to move in this direction. So I need to say, wow, that's amazing to have that sort of opportunity, and to feel inside of yourself a different opportunity that maybe is a bit more out there, or a bit at least in the common terms. So thank you for making all of your unique sacrifices to be here with us. And we just want to talk to Kathy very shortly about what is a board retreat. So could you tell me a little bit about this? Because I had never been to a board retreat before.
Sure, yeah.
And maybe what makes this different than other board retreats.
Okay, all right. Well, the board of the Center for, it's the board of the Center for World Philosophy and Religion. And the board is the group of people who have really stepped in to work to support the organization. And there are 50 of us here now, including 10 monks from the a Buddhist monastery nearby. Some of you might have heard Soryu Forel talk on one mountain a couple of times. And he has a whole group of people that are also with us. But most of the people here are have been not all have been connected for a long time, but quite a few have been connected for some number of years to Marc Gafni and Zach Stein's work on cosmoerotic humanism. So a lot of the people you would know, we hear things like we hear Krista's beautiful voice in the morning, which is something you're familiar with. And we hear, Christina Amelong is very much part of the proceedings and a critical voice on the board. And Eli here is definitely a part of the board. You have to stay tuned for his rap. What do you call it?
Dharma rap,
right? Which he's going to be doing, I think, in a little while. It's definitely, it's a wonderful thing to watch and hear. There are other people, lots of other people that you might know, named Shahat, and other people are here helping to support the space. But the general program during the day is really quite similar. If any of you have gone to a mystery school, there's a certain similarity. There's a Dharma presentation. There's, in this case, there's a lot more conversation between Marc and Zach Stein because Zach is here for the whole thing. And that's been a wonderful addition to have the two of them in conversation together. It's kind of rare, actually, for two people of their caliber to have peers to be peers in a way that they are, so that they're speaking to each other, with us in real time and evolving the Dharma as they go. And of course, they both work on their own, and they talk a lot separately, and they do all kinds of other things separately. But it's wonderful to be part of a group where you see two people really working from a background of real respect and love. And that's been really neat for us all to be part of.
So true. so true.
I'll take a breath on that. You ask me your next question.
Yeah. So I guess just one more short question. What would you say makes this particular board retreat the most joyous for you?
The most joyous for me?
Yeah.
Well, I would take a broad definition of joy, meaning different from kind of, we're all real happy, which, we often are. We've done a lot of dancing and a lot of singing and a lot of being together. But if you think of joy as that quality of being really involved, really committed, really involved, really doing what is yours to do and being part of it, I felt that here. I think most of us have. And there is a joyous quality to that. You could say maybe the irony of it is that what we're talking about is not very joyous in the sense of things like artificial intelligence. We talked a lot today about intimacy and its and how artificial intelligence affects it. And we had a really interesting conversation. Elena pointed out that maybe humans have never really been very good at being intimate. Mark's talked a lot about the evolution from role-mate to whole-mate, role-mate to soulmate to whole-mate, and that is an evolution of intimacy that is relatively recent on a sort of cultural scale. So in a way, intimacy has never really maybe been our home turf all that well. We've always had lots of other things to distract us. Role-mates have all the work to do of getting everything ready So there's, it may be that intimacy itself is something that we're just, it may be that we're sort of learning in the course of this destruction of intimacy by AI. We're learning what it actually is and what we need and what it is that actually sustains us. So, joyous. It's not a particularly joyous topic. I mean, the meta crisis is not something that I think any of us feels a lot, like, wow, that's really, it's, it's scary and urgent. And I think we all feel that, but I do think we're all here together. We're all committed to the organization and having a conversation that is very rare, if it happens at all in culture, in the way that it's happening. And so there's a lot of joy in being involved in that.
Yes. I concur on so many levels. It's very good. Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing with us. So I hope you guys hear there a bit more about what the board retreat is about. It's about bringing together people who are really, really deep in doing work on their own or doing work resourcing the center, because that's so important for us to be able to do all the work that we do, which we're about to talk about, which is really cool. We're going to hear about a lot of the new stuff that's coming up at the center. So it's also amazing. And I thank you for that insight. You're the best.
Great, thank you.
So as a quick transition, Kathy set me up amazingly with that, because she talked about how Dr. Marc Gafni and Zach Stein have been going back and forth throughout this event. And I had listened and read a lot of Dr. Marc Gafni and a lot of David J. Temple, but I have not read a lot of Zach Stein or listened to that much of Zach Stein speaking. And boy, was I missing out. This guy can go so deep in so many profound areas. And so it's such a big bow of appreciation for the amazing group that is gathering here at the center. There's just people that can speak on so many things on so many levels, as you can see with Kathy just being able to freestyle a bunch of gorgeous insights. So yeah, Dr. Zach Stein, or Zach Stein, thank you. So good to have you here as one of the people leading the way. So thank you. And now we're going to talk about another person who's leading the way. A very special welcome to Krista. Krista. Most of you have somehow met Krista. If not, you've probably seen her singing at the beginning of the One Mountain, Many Paths episodes. And let me tell you, to hear it live is better, which is hard to imagine because it sounds so good, even through Zoom. So yeah, Krista is amazing, not only in singing and music, but she's amazing in the fact that she's holding so much of this organization together. She's the executive board director, and I have not met many humans in my life who work as hard as the people here, with their hearts aligned as much as the people here. Like, the only way that they can do this for this long is because they're all in. And when I see that in you, it inspires me to live my biggest story. So I appreciate you, and I'm so grateful for you.
Thank you.
And now we will talk about an insane project that you guys have pulled off, because over the last how many months, how many years?
1 year full on, but it has been in the making for several years.
So a massive, massive project that has been in the making for several years, but only really intensely gone after, and you were leading the charge on it. And the project was to publish 36?
38, it's going to be 38.
38 books within that time period. And these books are gatherings of the lectures that Dr. Marc Gafni has given on One Mountain, Many Paths episodes. And they're cut and edited a little bit so that you're getting really just the insane Dharma drop-ins that you get at One Mountain, Many Paths. So it's like the highlights of all of those episodes and all of the in-between stuff, so you can feel how beautiful it is to be live with Dr. Marc Gafni. And they're all in these books.
Yes.
So can you tell me a little bit?
Yeah, I think the first thing I really want to say is that we here, all of us here, are the boards of the Center for World Philosophy and Religion. And so everyone coming here, everyone listening right now, it's a Unique Self Symphony. We are creating this together. And without us being here every week, I know so many people come here every week, placing your most precious gift, which is your attention, on the center, so that she, or however we want to call this download of Dharma, can actually come through and become possible. So we've been here together for, I always forget the week, but 455, I think we are at. So all of these weeks, we have been placing our attention, and we have been creating and articulating the Dharma, of course, together with Dr. Marc Gafni, who has that incredible gift of downloading and articulating it so precisely. But literally, if we wouldn't be here holding space, creating the container for she to come down, this would not have happened. So I just want to thank all of you, all of us here together for creating that space. And because it's so valuable, we also felt like, okay, what are we going to do with it? Now that we found love, what are we going to do with it? And so we didn't want to all of this Dharma to kind of go to waste. We have, of course, the recordings, we published the replays, but we wanted to really bring it down into these books so that it's also, it's available for everyone that wants to read it. But of course, there's 38 of them. And there's going to be many, many, many more. So it's not only about people right now reading it, but it's about what we spoke about earlier. It's the great library, creating a great library of books that is literally telling the new story for a new humanity to be able to face the existential risks that we're facing.
Yeah.
I can say a lot more, but
no, I love that. And that one thing that I really appreciate about the way that the center works is that they're thinking so deeply on so many different levels of how do we actually build this in the most foundational way so I can grow strong, not just grow fast, which is what so much of viral culture is about today. It's grow fast and then fall. Whereas here it's all about like the real in-person connections, the real true relationships, the real true conversations that are bringing all of this to light. So it's amazing. I would love to see a couple of these books, because another thing that is so amazing is that when you look at the covers of the books, they have a theme for that book. And the theme, which is the title, is also giving you really deep insights into the entire story that we are telling, the new story of value here at the Center for World Philosophy and Religion. So just by reading these covers on Amazon, you can find out so much about what's happening, and it just creates such a gorgeous base, as I was saying, the foundation.
Yeah, beautiful, yeah. And so all of these blue ones, we have 15 of them. I can just keep going here. This is the evolution of intimacy. We have God is intimate. We have conscious evolution and love story. These are the blue ones are all the early episodes of One Mountain Many Paths. So as many of you know, Barbara Marx Hubbard and Dr. Marc Gafni founded One Mountain Many Paths as Evolutionary Church. So these are 150 episodes. There's 10 in each episode that we published in the blue books.
So which one is that again? What's the theme for it?
The theme is together with Barbara Marx Hubbard.
Together with Barbara Marx Hubbard, all the blue ones.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. So and these are in chronological order. So book 1 is episode 1 to 10, 10 to 20, and so on.
And so those discussions just go back and forth between the two of them.
Yes.
And they both, wow,
yes.
How beautiful.
Yes.
Next, yes.
Then we have the topic book. So after Barbara passed, of course, sadly, in 2019, Mark continued, and more the weekly episodes were really focused on a certain topic. So, for example, we have world religion as a context for our diversity. We have value is real. We have story is real. So all the green ones are, I try to categorize them a little bit. It's like they're really core first principles, first values. So for example, story is real, value is real, existential risk.
Pause here for a second.
Yeah.
If you think about story is real and value is real, like if just those two ideas alone get baked into the source code of culture, that like those two solve so many of the problems that we have in humanity right now, but at like the fundamental level. Then it's gonna have to grow up through the realization in our bodies. But like it's literally 3-word sentences.
Yeah.
Value is real, story is real. That's insane.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Dr. Marc Gafni will always say, like, it's wild how tight this philosophy is, like all the way up and all the way down, which is another statement we use all the time. But it's that good. And that's coming from someone who's literally searched for a decade, studied philosophy.
Yes.
Like I've read so much more philosophy than average humans. And this is blowing my mind.
Yeah.
And heart.
Yeah, I love how excited you can get about a book.
Yeah.
But it's because it's alive, and I'll actually tell you a beautiful story. When we got the first book, which is this one, so all of these books, it's been a process of a whole year, and I will. There's so many things I want to say. So it's been a process, and in the last 2 weeks, all of these books actually came to completion. So it's been kind of a piling up of ordering one after the other. So this was the first one that came in, Codes of Desire, and many people have worked on this, but especially Talia. I want to give you credits for this, for editing this one. And what happened is it arrived here, delivered here. It's like, wow, it's a book. And then Jacqueline and I sat here for breakfast, and she opened the book, and she literally started crying, and it makes me cry again, because she could just feel the transmission and the energy and the hope that is on these pages and in these pages. And it's exactly the opposite of artificial intelligence and the lack of conversation and the lack of value. It's literally alive. And so she was sitting here and she said, this is exactly the book that I want to give to all my friends, because it's small, it's easy to read, it's like direct transmission of the Dharma through oral teaching. So it's very, very alive. And as you can see, the way that we edited it is that we literally didn't change a word, because as soon as you start to change the precision of the Dharma, you're already fucking it up. So it's literally not edited, but it's only laid out on the page in a certain way. So you have these big quotes, you have bolds, you have bullet points, and that makes it very, very easy to read and to really be the transmission of the energies.
Oh my gosh. What a gorgeous story. Thank you for sharing. And shout out to Jacqueline. So Jacqueline?
Yeah, beautiful. Yes. And so, I just want to also obviously honor the whole team that has been working on this, and not only to thank people like Jeffrey, Talia, and that's the problem with what Marc always says, mentioning names, is that you have to mention everyone, but just everyone working on this. So many people poured in their hearts, their lives, their time. Dorothea, Paul, Kwame, so many people being editors, proofreaders, designers, indexing. And what we basically learned together is to start a whole publishing house. And so doing these books has also freed up the road to bring the other books into existence. And I really feel like the Great Library is like this huge ship. I always like to imagine it as a big ship. I like to call it like the Ark of Noah, like the ship, the artifact, the container that is actually going to help us to cross over to the other side. Strangely enough, it's books, but it's books that actually hold the values, the first principles and first values that we need on the other side to create the more beautiful world that we know is possible. And so imagining that ship, we always call this book here, First Principles, First Values. Marc and Zach have called this the tip of the spear. So I always imagine this to be like the bow of the boat that kind of opens up the water and creates possibilities. And so after this is going to be, for example, next year we're going to work on the phenomenology of Eros, which is a 12-volume body of work that has already been written. It only needs to be edited and published. So those 12 volumes, and then we'll talk about more books maybe, but those are really the foundation of the boat that is coming. But then all of these, like literally there's going to be 50 of them and many, many more. They are kind of going out into the sea ahead of the big boat and going out to the land and warning the people like, a big motherfucking boat is coming. Like, hello, pay attention, pay attention. So as you can, if you go on Amazon right now, you can search for oral essays, Marc Gafni, and there you will see like a page full of them. And that's only the beginning. It's like a warning signal, like, hello guys, something fucking huge is going to happen.
Yeah. Yes.
Back to you.
Yes, and more, yes. Okay, last thing that I want to talk about with you is a little bit about the future. Because now we have this massive project that just happens. And again, shout out to everybody who helped, everyone who helped resource, make that possible, because that is such an insane project. The last thing I want to talk about is a bit of the future coming books. So there were a few that were mentioned. We got a presentation behind the scenes with Dr. Marc Gafni and Zach Stein about what's to come. And there's some really amazing stuff coming, even some stuff coming in the next few weeks. So in the next, I think, month or two, 6-8 weeks or something, comes the first volume of Exit the Silicon Maze, which if you heard a bit about what if you've listened to any of the recent episodes of One Mile Many Paths, you've heard Dr. Marc Gafni always mention in AI the importance of it, the importance of human and technology, and figuring out what that relationship really is. And as Kathy mentioned at the beginning, was like the relationship between, how do we find value? How do we find truth in a time where AI is going to be able to speak truth, or at least things that sound true, faster, which is crazy, which Zach Stein was bringing up, an amazing deep dives there.
Yeah.
And this book, Exit the Silicon Maze, goes deep into all of that and deep into the solutions that might be at the core of it.
Yeah. Yes. I like how you said how it speaks something that sounds truth.
Yes.
But it's actually not.
Yes.
Yeah. So protecting, and how we are called as a community here actually to protect value, to protect our rights, to protect what is actually truthful in response to that. So what was that? Yeah. No.
So that's Exit the Silicon Maze, and there's a couple more that are coming out in the future that are being worked on in the background right now that really stuck out to me. But there's like 10 or 20 that are going off with other collaborators too. So there's amazing teams of people working on so much new stuff, which I can't go into right now. Yeah. But we do have a presentation on all those books. Maybe we can share that at some point with everyone. Yeah. So you can see really what's going on.
Yeah. What's really special about it is that, and that's what we also see here at the Board Retreat, is that, like you also said, like so many people in different disciplines are collaborating and either studying with Marc Gafni or working or writing or researching. So one of the things that we're doing is, of course, this is the core of the core, first principles and first values. And before even publishing this book, a lot of the research work obviously has already been done. But then it's like, how do we, for example, one of the books that's coming out is Anthro-Ontology. How do we know what we know? And so for each of the first principles, there's a different series of books almost coming out, and to show that these first principles are true in every aspect of life. So it has to be true in medicine. How does it apply to medicine? Unique self in medicine, for example. Or how does it apply to psychology? So we have someone working on a book called Unique Self Recovery. How do you recover your unique self through therapeutic personal transformational process? How is it true in politics and economics? So in every area of the world that we're kind of rebuilding, people are engaged with this new story. And so, it's crazy exciting.
That's so exciting. A couple of the other titles. We have How We Know What We Know, which is going into Anthro-Ontology. Again, the gnosis that comes from our entire field of experience, not just our brain. We have Unique Voice. These are all David J. Temple books, which is collaborations from more of these minds within the field here at the Center for World Philosophy and Religion. So amazing combinations of people coming together. We have Unique Voice. Unique Voice is going to be about, I think it's the combination of a bunch of psychology type studies on the process of adolescence growing, which is one of the things that Zach Stein is an expert in, plus the whole unique self theory from Dr. Marc Gafni. So imagine raising kids as unique selves so that they can express their unique voice. That's brilliant. Brilliant. So those were a few of the books coming up, a few out of dozens that are, just going to be game changing. So thank you for sharing the time. Thank you for sharing yourself with this center and making this stuff happen. It's unbelievable, and you're so inspiring.
Yeah, thank you. And I just want to say it's awesome to see how you're stepping in, and only since 4 or 6 months that we've started to work together. And it's just amazing to feel your power and your passion for the mission and for the vision, and also to see how powerfully you're like emerging in Unique Self, in the Unique Self Symphony. And I think it's such a great model and example of what's possible if we allow ourselves to really be fulfilled, and how do you say it, filled with this vision, and then show up powerfully to be of service to the whole. So thank you for being here, and I'm so excited to see it all unfold.
Thank you. Wow. My heart is full, especially just being around here with all the people. But of course, Krista, that was so kind. Thank you. And it was a perfect segue. That was too good. I don't know if you planned that, but that was genius. The segue into a big invitation, which is an invitation I've been going through for the last 6 months since starting to work here, which is an invitation to live your story, an invitation to become the person who you can feel inside of yourself the cosmos needs right now, the earth needs right now, your friends need right now. And that is terrifying because it means you need to take on all the responsibility of becoming that person, becoming who you must become, and becoming us as a earth, becoming who we must become all together. That's terrifying because it means facing off with all of the wild stuff that's going on in the planet. It's like if you have your eyes closed, you can think that mission is easy. But if you have your eyes open, you're going to be scared. You're going to realize, oh my goodness, I need to do this. And it's terrifying. And at the same time, circling way back to Kathy at the beginning with joy, it's also the source of my joy. Because only when I'm actually working on the thing that my heart is like pushing all of me towards, only once I actually align with that is there going to be the sense of joy and like, oh, I'm finally doing it. It's like the satisfaction that comes from being your unique self. That's why Dr. Marc Gafni always says, you cannot pursue happiness. If you pursue happiness, it keeps running away. You're like, oh, I want to be happy. So I'm going to like read this book. And you're like, where's happiness in this book? No, it's when you realize this book is helping you understand how to have a deep relationship with yourself, your friends, your family, your environment, the cosmos itself, God, the intelligence within the cosmos itself, that is the cosmos itself, that you are embodying. Once you realize that that's actually what's in these books, then you're like, oh, now I have the joy. Because reading something like this is not easy. It's a difficult read. It's heavy philosophy. It's like doing workouts to actually change your muscle mass. If you want to change your muscle mass, if you want to change your ability to express yourself, then you're going to have to do the work, which is crazy. But that's why we're all here and why we all stay, because it's also work that makes, again, the joy and beauty of life become self-evident, because it's the evolution of yourself that makes joy and beauty self-evident. So speaking of all that, I'm going to have to step into my unique story right now, which is terrifying. For the first time yesterday, I shared my personal lineage, my personal story, me stepping into my personal myth that I come from a background and a lineage of hip hop. Hip hop is not just a music genre with the way that most people think about it. Hip hop is in fact a world culture. It's a certified UNESCO world culture. The only reason it's becoming a certified UNESCO world culture is because of this group called the Temple of Hip Hop. You can imagine the Temple of Hip Hop being the Center for World Philosophy and Religion of the hip hop culture scene. They're doing amazing work talking about the truth at the center of all reality. And so many of their teachings, just like so many of your past spiritual teachers, align with so many of the teachings here at the center and get up-leveled altogether, because the two dharmas working together is actually the lineage. The lineage is the idea of what is truth. The lineage is what is the truth. That is the only thing that we're actually searching for at the core of all of this. So, as always, a huge blessing to Dr. Marc Gafni for being one of the people who's expressing so much of those key insights into life, and the amazing team, again, that's holding him. It's not possible without either of those groups. They create the field all together, and then Dr. Marc Gafni goes out and kills it in the field. So I'm about to try to do the same. I come from hip hop culture. My hip hop name is One Void. One Void. We put one in front of our names or behind our names when we're part of the Temple of Hip Hop, because one is to represent the oneness and the void is to represent the uniqueness. So you have the bigger field that you're a part of, the one, but then you have your own tag within the one, your own uniqueness. See an overlap there? Maybe. One Void. Void stands for vibrant oasis in darkness, because that is what I believe we are all here to create, vibrant oasis in darkness. And it's funny because the void here in this teaching is so much about the pause and the space where addiction can grab you, where fear can grab you, can pull you away from who you can actually become. And I've realized my name means both of those things. It's the void, which is the gap to becoming who you want to be, and it's the stepping in and the creative possibility. So those two things are one and the same at their core. So I'm learning more about my lineage throughout this whole process, as you will when you get more into this type of thing. So hip hop and Homo Amor combine inside of me. And for that reason, I'm going to do a little rap right now. First, I'm just going to tune into my core, because this is my version of prayer, my version of speaking truth. And for me, I need to tune in to do that. So I would encourage any of you out there, do your own practice right now to tune yourself into your body and just get ready for a little fun ride all together into the land of improvised rhyme. This might go more direction slam poetry right now. Imagine yourself as a child. Imagine yourself as a child. Imagine yourself as a child. We were all once children. We are all forever children. The two, the adult and the child, are one and the same reflection. If you go into the inside, you'll finally see your true I. You'll understand what it means to be consciousness alive. You are here right now to become who you are. When you step in, you enter your Noah, the ark. Everything that I say is truth. It is off the dome to you. It is freestyle rap. I gotta get braggadocious too. If you understand the culture, you'll see where it's coming from. When we're spitting on the mic, it's only truth. That's why we call him son, because we're telling everyone we're the teacher here. We're the father energy. We're here. Have no fear. When you step up and open up your heart, you'll see what it really means to step into divine masculine and femininity. But the truth is so far beyond those two. It's a circle in the line that's creating you. It's a spiral of the universe in your eye. I see your iris. It opens up oh so wide, because you're my drug, the love that I've been thinking of. When I see you, all I want to do is explore every vein of your entire brain. I want to know everything that you've thought that you didn't say. I want to know exactly who you are, the light inside the darkest heart. When I see you, I see my whole life get ripped apart and rearranged in a new way. That's what it means to be Homo Amor. Today, right now, feel truth, rain down, know who you are, let it come out. I tell the truth so you can see. I will take my truth to the noose. Reality opens up when I claim my heart, and it will too when you allow yourself to do the thing that you were born to do. So step into your story, live it right now. You can feel truth as it trickles down. The rain pours out at the board meeting yesterday. Divine speech speaking in alignment with what we say. When you see that, you see truth. And when you see truth, you see that there's only one path to truth and reality. It's philosophy. It's the practice of being the lover of wisdom. Upgrade from just loving wisdom to becoming the lover of wisdom. To be a lover of wisdom, you must know it intimately. That means that you live it in every moment in between. Everything that you have ever thought or said, the truth is what you are in between. The void, the gap, where you can decide, is it a vibrant oasis that I am here to design, or am I actually just taking people down by my side, blowing up my own homies as I rip their insides with bullets that I'm putting through them? Do you see the facts? On earth, we're having wars. That's a definition of fact, that people are not in their own sanity. When you see wars, you understand how out of touch we are with reality. You gotta see there's possibilities far beyond. Become imaginist, open your eyes. eyes, and you will see beyond anything that you thought was even possible before. When I started this all, everyone who knows me from before knows that I created a business called Beyond Entertainment. The whole idea was where entertainment and philosophy collide, and now I'm here to take this job of social media at the side of the Center for World Philosophy and Religion. So look at that. It was a path that was laid out by divinity like that. I literally followed dreams to get here, as did you. You saw something so far and deep beneath the truth. You saw something that called to you, a whisper in the night. Whenever it was a dream, a spark did ignite, and you could feel there was a way, and you've been craving that voice. And when it's not there, it's so scary. I know I turn into a mouse. I couldn't make that rhyme. Shit. You turn into a mouse. That's how you know it's freestyle, because you mess up sometimes. You turn into a mouse and you just can't speak it. And we're all putting ourselves in those cages, and we gotta move out. We gotta learn to freak it. Freak it out. Move outside of the cage. Freak it out. You just be dancing. Your life should feel like dancing. That's what it means to live your story. It means that you are in the passion of your life, meaning you are in the music of your life, meaning you have entered the creative state of life. You are one with the force, one with the creative life force. It's literally who you are. It's why there actually are masters on the cosmos. When you see a master in your eyes, then you will understand what it means to actually tap in. And that's why teachers are so necessary. We need the masters, not a biomimicry that is being done by some machinery with ones and zeros. It doesn't even know what it means to be a hero, because it can only process a win through a freaking algorithm. What even is that? It doesn't have a sense of victory. It doesn't even know what it means to be. Do you understand? You are consciousness. How could anything ever reenact you? Ever. You are literally the fabric of everything around you, meaning that you are built out of the atoms that somehow compound to create you. That's insane. Every atom is unique, because if it wasn't, then I would be you and you would be me. It's wild when you actually look all the way up and all the way down. You are unique. You are made to be here, and you have a story. So if you want to learn, what time is that? 58. That was good timing. 59. We were trying to stop at 16. At 14. The last thing I want to say is that if you have your own story that you want to step into, that's what we're doing at the Center for World Philosophy and Religion. And you can join our community called Who We Must Become, which is all about becoming your story, starting to live your story. Our first big class is called Live Your Story, which I got to experience live a few weeks ago. And now we're creating a course out of that content. It's all about stepping in to your unique story. So now, without further ado, I'm going to pass it on to the lovely Krista.
Oh my God, yes! Fuck. Let's just feel that for a moment. I don't care what time it is. Jesus. Just feeling you for a moment. That was insane. That was so beautiful and so powerful. And so opening up the thing that we're trying to do here. I don't even know what to say. It's just more to celebrate the moment. Maybe people are already writing in the chat box, I think, but maybe you could share how that impacted you. We'll read it now or later, but just to hear some voices, how that resonates into the field. So we're in it together. And this is literally an example of both its performance and its not performance. And so it's all about you and your story and you stepping into your story, but it's also opening up the space and modeling what's possible for each and every one of us if we're willing to take that leap. So just to take a moment to really feel like, what does that mean in your life right now? How can you sit on the edge of your seat, and how can you step in to what Eli modeled so beautifully? Thank you so much.